Wednesday evening, and my phone screen lights up with a text from Mom. The family group chat first. Actually, this year is immediate family only. You've been kind of negative lately, so maybe sit this one out. Then, 10 seconds later, a private message drops. You're banned from Thanksgiving, idiot. Don't bother showing up. I sit there on my couch, the one I bought after saving for 8 months, and something inside me doesn't break, it clarifies. I open my banking app, and my thumb hovers over the autopay settings. 3 years of invisible labor, $24,000 in quiet fixes, and I'm the one who's too negative. So I start clicking. Cancel. Remove. Revoke. Screenshot. Save. But to understand how I became my family's secret ATM, I need to start at the beginning. This channel is about family betrayal, the invisible labor women do to keep everyone else comfortable, and what happens when the person holding everything together finally lets go. My name is Leah, and this is the story of how I got banned from Thanksgiving dinner and responded by canceling every bill my mother didn't know I was paying. By Sunday night, she had called 87 times. I slept better than I had in years. If you've ever been the responsible one in a family that treats you like you're disposable, this story is for you. And if it resonates, a like or comment really helps others find this community. My name is Leah Brooks. I'm 29 and I work as a payroll analyst for a mid-sized manufacturing company in Raleigh, North Carolina. I make about $68,000 a year, which sounds stable until you realize I've been funding 2 households on that income. I live in a small 1-bedroom apartment in a quiet complex near the highway, nothing fancy, but it's mine, and I keep it clean because when everything else feels chaotic, at least I can control my own space. Friends have always called me the planner, the one who shows up early with the right paperwork, the backup phone charger, the extra cash. I'm conflict avoidant by nature, which my family has always mistaken for weakness. What they don't understand is that avoiding conflict doesn't mean I don't see it, it just means I've been calculating the cost of speaking up, and for a long time, the cost felt too high. My mother, Patricia, is 54 and works part-time at a floral shop, mostly for the social aspect. She drives a leased SUV she can't quite afford and lives in a 3-bedroom rental that's always one missed payment away from a late fee. Patricia is a master of public performance. She's the woman who posts about family values on social media while texting cruelty in private. She's loud at dinners, quick with a toast, and even quicker to make sure everyone knows she's the matriarch. My younger sister, Dylan, is 26, works sporadically as a bartender, and has perfected the art of being charming enough that no one asks her to be responsible. She's prettier than me, or at least, that's what I was told growing up, and funnier in that careless way people love. Dylan lives rent-free in Mom's house, drives Mom's old car, and has never paid for her own phone plan. She's the golden child, which means she gets the credit while I get the bills. This dynamic didn't start last week, it's been my whole life. When I was 12 and Dylan was 9, my birthday party was at a pizza place with 6 kids from school. Dylan's 9th birthday, 3 years later, was a backyard carnival with a rented bounce house and a magician. When I asked why mine was different, Mom said, "You're not really a party person, sweetie." Dylan lights up a room. When I graduated high school with honors, we went to Applebee's. When Dylan barely graduated, Mom threw a dinner party and invited 20 people, talking about how proud she was that Dylan found her own path. I learned early that being responsible didn't earn love, it earned more responsibility. By the time I was in college, I was the one who drove home every time Mom had a medical scare, which happened about twice a semester and always seemed to coincide with her needing someone to help with bills. I was the one who co-signed Dylan's first car loan when she was 19, and then made half the payments when she forgot. I was the daughter who fixed problems before they were even named, and my reward was being invisible. After I graduated and got my job in Raleigh, the requests got more direct. "Can you just cover the phone plan for a few months while I catch up?" became a permanent arrangement. The internet bill is overdue, and Dylan needs it for job applications turned into 3 years of autopay. The trash service, the car insurance, the random Venmo requests labeled emergency that stopped being emergencies around month 4, they all just piled up, and I kept saying yes, because I thought that's what family meant. I thought if I showed up enough, paid enough, fixed enough, eventually they'd see me. They never did. Thanksgiving was supposed to be at Mom's house, same as every year. 2 weeks before, I texted the family group chat, me, Mom, Dylan, and our Aunt Carol, and asked, "Hey, what time should I get there Thursday? Should I bring anything?" I expected the usual response, "Come around 2, bring rolls." Instead, the chat went silent for 6 hours. Then, Wednesday evening, while I was heating up leftover soup in my tiny kitchen, the reply came, "Actually, this year is immediate family only. You've been kind of negative lately, so maybe sit this one out." I read it twice. Immediate family. I'm her daughter. I stared at my phone, my hands going cold, and then the private text arrived from Mom. "You're banned from Thanksgiving, idiot. Don't bother showing up." No explanation, no context, just that. I sat down on my couch, still holding my phone, and I felt my face go hot and then numb. The apartment was so quiet I could hear the hum of the refrigerator. I thought about all the times I'd been the one to smooth things over, the one to apologize for things I didn't do, the one to pretend it didn't hurt when Dylan got the bigger room, the better gift, the public praise. And I realized something: I wasn't the problem. I was the budget. The next morning, Thanksgiving Day, I woke up to a notification that my credit card, the one I'd added Mom and Dylan as authorized users on, just for emergencies, had been charged $412 at a grocery store. For $100 on the day I was banned from the meal I wasn't allowed to attend. I logged into my account and saw the pattern I'd been ignoring for months. Charges for gas, Target runs, DoorDash orders, all on my card, all from people who'd just uninvited me from the family holiday. I scrolled through my bank statements, and the numbers stared back at me like evidence at a crime scene. Phone plan, $210 a month. Internet, $95. Trash service, $40. Mom's car insurance, because she'd added me as a co-signer and then forgotten to take over payments, $180. Random transfers labeled help or emergency or just thank you, sweetie, that never got paid back, anywhere from $50 to $300, 2 or 3 times a month. I opened a spreadsheet and started adding. 3 years. $24,680. I'd paid for their lives while being erased from their table. I checked social media, because I'm human and I make bad choices when I'm hurt. Dylan had posted a photo from Mom's dining room, a full Thanksgiving spread, both of them smiling, caption reading, "Grateful for my day one, my mom, my rock." No mention of me. The comments were full of heart emojis. Aunt Carol had liked it. I wasn't just uninvited, I'd been edited out, and no one even noticed I was gone. That's when it hit me. I wasn't a daughter to them. I was a safety net, a backup plan, a convenience they resented for being convenient. Every dollar I'd sent was a permission slip for them to treat me worse, because people don't respect what they get for free. I'd been funding my own invisibility, and the only person who could stop it was me. So I opened my banking app again, and this time, I didn't hesitate. I called my best friend, Mara, the one person who'd been telling me for 2 years that my family was using me. She picked up on the second ring, and I said, "I need you to tell me I'm not crazy." She listened while I walked her through the text, the grocery charge, the 3 years of payments. When I finished, there was a long pause, and then she said, "Leah, this isn't help. This is financial abuse. You're not their daughter, you're their credit line, and they're mad you have boundaries. You don't owe them another dollar, and you definitely don't owe them an explanation." Her words hit me like cold water. Financial abuse. I'd never used that phrase for my own life, but she was right. Mara walked me through what to do next: document everything, cancel everything, and prepare for the reaction. "They're going to call you selfish," she said. "They're going to play the victim. But you have numbers, and numbers don't lie. Save every receipt, every screenshot, every text. When they come for you, and they will, you'll have proof that you were never the problem." I spent the rest of Thanksgiving Day building a case I never wanted to make. I opened a new spreadsheet and labeled the columns: date, service, amount, proof. I went back 3 years, pulling bank statements, credit card logs, Venmo transactions, Zelle transfers. Every payment got a row. Every row got a screenshot. Phone plan, 36 months, $210 each, $7,560 total. Internet, 36 months, $95 each, $3,420. Car insurance, 36 months, $180 each, $6,480. Trash service, 36 months, $40 each, $1,440. Then the one-off transfers, the emergencies that never were, a blown tire that turned into a weekend trip, a vet bill for a dog mom didn't own, a surprise medical expense the same week Dylan posted photos from a beach vacation. Those added up to $9,800. Total, $24,680. I added a notes column and typed next to each one, never repaid, never acknowledged, never asked if I could afford it. I found the smoking gun in an old group text from 8 months ago. Dylan had written, "Leah's paying for it anyway, so why does it matter?" in response to Mom asking if the phone plan was too expensive. They knew. They'd always known. And they'd kept taking because I kept giving. I pulled up every account where my name or payment method was attached. Phone plan. Canceled my autopay, ported my number to a new solo account, sent an email to the carrier removing my payment info and requesting Mom and Dylan be notified to update billing by the end of the week. Internet. Logged in, removed my credit card, clicked cancel service effective in 72 hours. Trash service. Same process. Car insurance. Called the company, explained I was no longer financially responsible for the policy, and had them send a notice to Mom's email that she had 10 days to provide new payment before cancellation. Credit card. I logged in and removed both Mom and Dylan as authorized users. Every pending charge got flagged. Every future attempt would be declined. I changed my banking passwords, turned on two-factor authentication, and added alerts for any transaction over $10. Then I took screenshots of every confirmation page, timestamps, reference numbers, cancellation notices. I saved them all in a folder labeled Documented for my records. Finally, I drafted a message to the family group chat. Short, clear, unemotional, effective immediately. I've removed my payment methods from all shared accounts. Please update your billing info by Friday. I'm happy to help you set up your own plans if you ask respectfully. Otherwise, I'm no longer available as a financial resource. I attached the spreadsheet as a PDF renamed 3 years of support. And then I waited until Friday morning to send it because I wanted them to have one more day of normal before everything changed. Friday morning, I woke up at 7, made coffee, and hit send. Then I put my phone on Do Not Disturb and went for a walk. By the time I got back an hour later, I had 32 missed calls, 18 from Mom, 9 from Dylan, 5 from Aunt Carol. I didn't listen to a single voicemail. I made breakfast, watched a movie I'd been meaning to see, and let the number climb. By noon, it was 53. By evening, 87. Friday afternoon, around 4, someone started pounding on my apartment door. I looked through the peephole and saw Mom, her face red, her hair messy, still in the same sweater from the Thanksgiving photo. She was yelling loud enough that I was worried about my neighbors. I took a breath, unlocked the door, but didn't open it all the way. I stood in the frame, one hand on the knob, wearing sweatpants and an old t-shirt, and just looked at her. "What the hell is wrong with you?" she shouted. "You cut off everything. The phone, the internet, the trash pickup hasn't come in 2 weeks. Do you know how humiliating this is?" I didn't move. I said, calm and quiet, "You banned me from Thanksgiving and called me an idiot. I respected your decision. I also stopped funding your household. Those are separate choices, but they happened on the same day." She tried to push past me, but I didn't budge. "You're being vindictive," she said. "This is about money? After everything I've done for you." I pulled out my phone and opened the PDF. "Everything you've done for me," I repeated. "Can you name one thing in the last 3 years that didn't involve me paying for it?" She sputtered, tried to pivot to emotion. "I raised you. I gave you a home." "You did," I said. 18 years ago. "And I've been paying rent ever since." I held up my phone so she could see the spreadsheet. $24,680. I have every receipt, every text, every confirmation. "You didn't help me, Mom. You used me." And the second I asked what time dinner started, you called me an idiot and erased me. So now you get to do what you've been pretending to do all along. Take care of yourself. She tried tears next, then rage, then bargaining. What if I pay you back? I shook my head. This isn't about repayment. This is about respect. If you want to rebuild a relationship with me, I'm open to coffee in a public place, no money talk. But if you want me to be your ATM again, I'm permanently closed. She stood there, mouth open, and I quietly shut the door. Over the next month, the dominoes fell exactly as they should have. The phone lines got suspended after the grace period ended. Dylan called me from a friend's phone, furious, demanding I fix it. I said, the carrier's customer service line is open until 8, and hung up. The internet cut off the following week. Aunt Carol texted me asking if I knew Mom was having trouble, and I replied with a link to local internet providers. The trash sat in bags on the curb for 2 weeks until the city sent a notice and Mom finally opened her own account. Dylan moved in with a boyfriend she'd been dating for 6 weeks because living without Wi-Fi was inhumane. Mom started picking up extra shifts at the floral shop and traded in the leased SUV for a used sedan. Her social media posts got quieter, fewer brunch photos, more vague complaints about family disappointment. A few relatives reached out to me with carefully worded texts like, "Is everything okay?" And I responded the same way every time. I'm no longer financially supporting other adults. If that's a problem for them, they're welcome to handle it themselves. Patricia sent one final text about 3 weeks after I shut everything down. You've changed. I read it twice, then replied, yes. Into someone who doesn't pay to be insulted. I didn't block her number, but I also didn't keep the conversation going. The silence that followed wasn't angry, it was just done. For me, life got quieter and lighter all at once. The first month, I put the money I'd been spending on their bills, nearly $700 a month, into my own savings account. I paid off a credit card I'd been carrying for 2 years. I bought new sheets for my bed, the expensive kind I'd always told myself were too much. I signed up for a pottery class I'd been eyeing since I moved to Raleigh. I had coffee with Mara every Sunday and didn't check my phone once. The next Thanksgiving, I hosted friend giving in my tiny apartment. 6 people, all real friends who'd shown up for me when I needed them. We cooked together, laughed too loud, played board games until midnight, and nobody called me an idiot because I'd finally stopped inviting people who needed me gone to feel powerful. Mara raised her glass and said, to Leah, who figured out that family isn't about who raised you, it's about who respects you. We clinked glasses, and for the first time in years, I felt like I was exactly where I belonged. Here's what I learned. The people who benefit from your silence will always call your honesty selfish. Setting a boundary isn't cruel, it's necessary. And if someone treats your generosity like an obligation, you don't owe them another dollar, another explanation, or another second of your peace. I spent 3 years paying for love that was never real, and the day I stopped, I finally started living. If this story made you feel a little less alone, or if you've ever had to choose yourself over people who refuse to see you, a like or comment really helps this community grow. And if you've drawn your own hard line with family or anyone else who mistook your kindness for weakness, your story matters. Share it if you're comfortable. Document everything, know your worth, and remember, you're not responsible for other people's consequences. You're only responsible for your own peace. Thank you for listening.